Okay, so if you've used any kind of AI writing tool lately, you're part of this huge global shift that's happening. But, the real story here isn't just that we're using AI. It's about how we're starting to work with it, like a real partner. So let's just dive right in.
We've all seen this, right? I mean, this is that classic default kind of sterile response we get from so many AI models. It's, technically correct, factually sound, but it's also completely missing any real human connection. And that, right there, is where our story really begins.
And this is the central puzzle, isn't it? We've got this unbelievably powerful technology that can write entire essays, debug code, and answer incredibly complex questions. And yet, the output just feels, well, flat. It lacks the warmth, the empathy, the nuance that makes communication actually work. This gap between raw intelligence and real emotion, it creates what you could call an uncanny valley for AI. It's so smart, but it just can't quite connect on a human level. And this isn't just some small, nitpicky thing. It has some pretty serious real-world consequences. I mean, just look at this. This really brings the problem home. Think about education. An AI tutor that can't give a little encouragement could totally fail a student who's struggling. Or in healthcare, imagine getting a cold, clinical response from an AI when you're already anxious. And for mental health support, well, empathy is pretty much the whole game. This emotional gap really makes the AI so much less effective. So the big question is, how do we fix this? How do we bridge that emotional gap? Well, researchers have been working on a really fascinating breakthrough. A way to give AI these precise, controllable emotions, all without having to retrain these gigantic models from the ground up. And the solution is this really cool concept called emotion vectors, or EVs for short. The best way to think of it is like a set of instructions that tells the AI how to feel. Scientists have figured out how to basically isolate the shape of an emotion inside the AI's network, and now they can add that shape to any response to give it a specific emotional flavor. And wow, this slide really shows you what it can do. It's night and day. On the left, you've got that standard, bland AI answer you'd expect if you asked about being passed over for a promotion. But on the right, with an anger emotion vector applied, the response is just transformed. It's visceral, it's relatable, it sounds human. So how does it actually work? Well, it's surprisingly elegant, really. As the AI is generating its response word by word, we just add this emotion vector into its internal thought process. It's almost like giving the AI a little nudge in a specific emotional direction. And that's it. That simple little addition is all it takes. And the impact is just massive. The research found that applying just one of these emotion vectors could crank up the perceived emotional intensity of the AI's output by over 400%. So what's crucial to understand is that this isn't some subtle change. No, this is a fundamental shift in what the AI is capable of expressing. Okay, so we've seen how we can literally give AI emotions. Pretty wild. Now let's zoom out a bit and see how this same idea of a fine-tuned partnership plays out in the business world, especially when it comes to something like a brand's voice. All right, so here's a challenge every big company on the planet faces. You need to create a ton of content, right? For all your different channels, different markets, different audiences. How in the world do you do that at scale without your brand's core identity just getting completely lost in the noise? Well, the answer is a real partnership. The AI becomes the workhorse. It's cranking out huge amounts of content, applying the brand rules with perfect consistency every single time. But the human editor, they're the soul of the whole operation. They're setting the strategy, defining that emotional tone, and making those tricky judgment calls that, frankly, only a human can. This whole human-AI workflow, it really shows us that our relationship with these tools is getting way more complex. And that means the old, simple ways we used to think about collaborating with them, well, they might not cut it anymore. For most of us, this slide right here is basically our mental model. We tend to see AI collaboration as this simple spectrum, a straight line. On one end, you've got a human writing all by themselves. On the other end, a fully automated AI. And we just sort of exist somewhere in the middle. But as we've been seeing, the partnership is so much richer than that, isn't it? The AI can be a brainstorming partner, a structural editor, a creative muse, and an analytical engine, sometimes all at the same time. Does a simple line really do that justice? So to really get a handle on this new era, we need to move past that simple sliding scale. We need to embrace a new, much more sophisticated way of thinking about our partnership with AI.
I love this slide. It's such a powerful analogy. For a long, long time, our understanding of something like neurodiversity was pretty linear, right? Just a simple scale. But now we understand it's this complex, beautiful, interconnected web. And the argument here is that our understanding of human AI collaboration needs to make that exact same leap, from a simple line to a dynamic web.
And this is that new model. This is the new reality. Instead of one single line, we've got a multidimensional framework where all these different types of collaboration are happening at the same time. This is a much, much more accurate picture of how creative work actually gets done today.
So let's break these 5 dimensions down real quick. First, you've got content generation. That's the AI helping with the raw text. Then there's structural assistance, where it helps organize our thoughts. The AI can also offer creative input, suggesting better words or new ideas. It can even make analytical contributions, like summarizing data. And finally, and this is the most important one, is the human's role in ethical and intellectual accountability. And this right here is the bottom line. This is the crucial takeaway. It doesn't matter how much the AI contributes or how deeply it's woven into the creative process. At the end of the day, the human author is the one who is ultimately accountable. We are the final guardians of the work's integrity, its accuracy, and its ethics. So where does all this leave us? As AI becomes less of a tool and more of a genuine co-creator, our very definition of what it means to be an author is going to change. The lines between human creativity and machine creativity are getting blurrier by the day, and it's really up to us to figure out how to navigate this new world. It's a question we're all going to be answering together.